Hey guys, welcome to a brand new series on the channel. We've just completed Final Fantasy X and here we are going to start into Final Fantasy X-2. We're here at the Luca Stadium. Is it Blitzball season? But basically I'm not sure if for copyright reasons I'm going to be able to allow this song to play. I will see what the YouTube lords say about it. But basically we're just dropped hard into the opening. There's some sort of performance on at the stadium. And here we have Riku looking very different from her last cutscene.
In position. It's showtime, girls.
And they are about to crash a concert. So I will see you guys on the other side of this pretty amazing cutscene. Talk to you guys then. So, Riku and this other character, Pain, are attacking Yuna on stage for some such reason. This really is kind of a very cold opening for even fans of 10. And even after watching the Eternal Calm, there's no real reason to understand. And then of course we have a completely different voice for Yuna there. But introducing the new battle system. It is the active time bar of the Final Fantasies of old. So we basically have to select our commands from a list of options, and basically the enemies are going to be taking their turns in between them. So there's no time to set down the controller and just relax. There's stuff happening all the time, so it's a lot more of a fast-paced system. And basically what I'm doing here with Riku, she still is her thief archetype, And basically, we're going to just steal from the two goons and the question mark Yuna to steal some items. Because in this game, your jobs are basically tied to your outfits, essentially. One of the reasons why Riku looks so different, her default outfit is actually the thief dress sphere. And we'll get into that all in good time. But basically, every time you use something that isn't attack, if you throw a potion, if you use, like what Pain the warrior is using, power break, if you steal, if you use other abilities, this gives you ability points in the particular dress sphere or class or job that you are in. So for every time Riku steals, she gained 3 thief experience points, and you use those experience points to learn other abilities in the particular dress or job. So we beat up Yuna and her 2 goons, and now we're going to have to chase after her down Luca.
No time for an encore.
Full disclosure, this was my very first Final Fantasy game ever. So I started 10-2 without playing 10. But I love the battle system, love the job system. And we see there we have Pain and Riku, level 1, Thief and Warrior. And that's pretty much all we kind of have for the config. But in the early game, and especially around this area, you're going just to want to steal all the time because you get budget grenades, which are quite useful. And these enemies are designed to go down in one hit. And even though we can't go to the abilities section in the menu, using steal and using power break and killing enemies is getting us experience in these job classes. So if you wanted, you could stay and farm from certain enemies. Now this area isn't ideal, it only has 2. But when we get to the next area, there's obviously more, which means more experience for your jobs. But I'm aiming to get all the achievements in 10-2 as well. I've gotten them all in 10, so I want to be on a roll and do the entire 10 series. But this game is very finicky, and to get 100% of the story completion, you need to do and not miss very simple, innocuous things. And the very first thing is in the very first couple of seconds of this gameplay. When you get to the second area of the port, you have to run down and talk to a little hidden Moogle. But as you guys are going to see here, Pain is going to use an item, which gives her an experience point for Warrior, and then get 4 points for defeating all 4 of those enemies. And then she's learned the Sentinel ability. She's learned a new ability for her job. And so this can actually be quite quick because Riku can steal 4 times. Pain now can just use Sentinel. Sentinel's quite useful. It turns all damage, physical damage, received by Pain to 1. So she can survive an awful lot of good hits. And basically if you just steal with Riku on those 4 enemies, Riku's then getting 4 AP for her thief job, and then you can throw a budget grenade. They'll drop them all in one budget grenade. You're getting 3 or 4, and so you're able to kind of get a good amount of AP and level up your jobs kind of quickly here if you want some early game skills.
It's all in the wrist.
But, sorry, speaking of the 100%, you cannot skip cutscenes if you want to get 100%. Watching each of the cutscenes all generates percentage points for the end game completion. And there we have Riku learning Pilfer Gil there. But talk to this little Moogle. If you talk to it, it'll see that little healing motion. We've now got full HP and MP again. And if you want to stand by her, you can let the enemies run towards you and grind up a little bit there. But then once you're done, you run forward to the next screen, catch up with Pain, and then we have our first boss battle.
Hey, you run too fast!
You're too slow, little girl.
Again, who are these people? We've no idea. Very cold open. Even from people that have 100% of the game in 10 have watched the post-credit scene in the Eternal Com and know that Yuna has seen this mysterious sphere of Titus and has like left Besaid in a rush with Riku. Here is Yuna's costume change. But who is that other Yuna? What is going on? Who are these men? We don't know. But what I am happy to report is 10-2 seems to be able to run the FMV cutscenes. There is no green screen, there's no having to skip because they're not appearing, so I'm quite happy with that. But here we have our trio. And now that Pain knows Sentinel, we can have her draw aggro and take only 1 damage, and we can then have Riku steal, and if you steal from kind of these boss type enemies, you can get accessories and other useful items. So we got the silver glasses and iron bangle. And then Yuna has a trigger happy ability. If you spam D, I just didn't know what button it was going to be for the PC. You can basically spam multi-attacks. And since we unlocked Pill for Gil earlier, we can then steal some extra money from Logos and Ormi. And as I said, it's an early game boss fight, so you can use Power Break to lower their attack strength. And in between that bit of grinding, Pain also learned the Flame Tongue ability for her warrior dress sphere. And so you can just top the girls up with potions, like their HP's only in the hundreds, but you know, just keep them ready for the next stage. And yeah, with a couple of attacks and a couple of you know, strong steals, unfortunately Pain is just missing all of her attacks, so unusual there. But once we kind of focus down one, we can then take out the other. So don't be spreading your damage too thin. And as you can see, Logos stood out with the 2 guns. He has a very, very quick attack speed and a high evasion. So getting him down just leaves Ormi, and Ormi doesn't have as quick of an attack recovery speed. So he is that little bit easier. And you'll see there, when we're attacking now with the multi-attack, you're seeing a little chain bonus. So basically, if Yuna were to use Trigger Happy, get a high level of chain, and then attack with Pain, Pain would get a damage boost based on the length of the chain that she's taking part in. So a really different kind of spin on the conditional turn-based system that we had in 10, but I think the gameplay is super fun, so I do not mind. But here we have
Persistent,
Yuna's double.
My grid. You give us back Uni's garment grid right now.
Didn't you girls ever learn to share?
Give it back.
Very well.
So garment grids are things that make people look like other people. And it's this garment grid that's going to be our main focus of job changing in this game. So there's no more sphere grids, it's literally dress spheres or job spheres that we can change around mid-battle. So here we are transforming from the Gunner class into the Songstress class, which is like doing dances to inhibit, or you know, a bit like Waka's abilities, inflicting darkness, silence, stop, all those different types of abilities, and then singing songs to boost the party. And so right now we're able to inflict darkness to LeBlanc, which means she won't be able to hit with physical attacks. And then we just want to use Sentinel with Pain and just get some Pilfer Gale and Steal to get some good amount of money and good items from LeBlanc. But once that's that, you're going to just want to keep on. You can only dance with Yuna.
This is a little
And the rest, then it's up to them to just take down LeBlanc. But what's really cool with the dances, like with the darkness dance and everything else, is that it will affect every enemy across the field. So for big groups of enemies, if you can get a really powerful debuff, like eventually you can get stop, or slow, or sleep, like you can literally take out the entire enemy side of the field and just let your characters attack away with high damage or like black magic or what have you. But I am going to be aiming for all the achievements, but a little side challenge I want to do is I want to try and get all the job abilities for all the different girls.
It was nice knowing you.
So that might mean a little bit of grinding, and what I did in this next episode is I came up with a strategy to basically go into like a simulation where you can basically fight enemies, and if you lose you don't get a game over. So that way I can get ability experience but not gain levels. But I'll see what you guys think in the comments. But here we have Yuna just dancing uncontrollably. And here we have the real Yuna back in action. And we have now completed the prologue mission. But once again, for 100% completion's sake, you want to make sure you talk to the Moogle. Otherwise you're going to have to restart the game because you have lost your 100% progression already.
My body just started dancing by itself. I didn't know what was going on. I was frightened. Then, while I was dancing, something happened.
So you'll see all these different scenes, Yuna having inner monologues. You can press start and skip them. Do not skip them. The start button does not exist. Never press it. You have to watch every cutscene.
You sure looked like you were enjoying yourself. I was. It felt like some other person's excitement just took over.
That can happen when you use the garment grid. The emotions of the person recorded in the sphere pass to the user.
Isn't that dangerous?
I can't really say.
But it's your invention.
I'm just a kid.
Dancing, Yuna! I want to see!
It'll cost you.
One moment.
She's kidding.
What? No dance?
So it's a very different vibe to Final Fantasy X, but I love this game.
I've completed my latest
And here we
invention.
have the kind of simulator where you can battle fiends and not get a game over to kind of learn abilities and not gain experience. But I'll explain more of that in our next episode. This is just a nice little taster for the series, and I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching.